very glad to see everyone kind of introduce each other and get to know each other. We're going to get to know each other even more. First, I want to introduce today the student host. Everyone knows, a lot of people know him, Tim. Please say a few words, introduce yourself.
Alright, hey guys, so I'm the student MC, I guess. My name is Tim, I go to Northwood, I'm a senior, and I hope you guys enjoy this afternoon with the good food, with these speakers, Alan.
And yourself.
And myself. Hope you guys have a good time, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, so let's get started. So we kind of did that. So a few months ago, we had Chinese New Year celebration in the same venue. A few of the seniors got in early, which is great. So now we're gonna see what kind of decisions they make. But the theme of today is actually to succeed in college. So that's why we invited these college stars to give you guys advice going to off to college. Okay. So I want to see if the college students just say a quick introduction about yourself first. Name, your college, what year, what you studying, something quick, and then we'll wait for your wise advice a little later. Okay. Start with you, Tina.
Hi, I'm Tina. I go to Columbia. I'm going to be a rising sophomore, and I'm probably going to be studying environmental science.
Hi, my name is Lydia. I just finished my freshman year at Harvard, and I'm still undecided what I'm going to study.
Hey, I'm Jeremy. I'm going to be a sophomore next year at Harvey Mudd. I'm undecided right now towards a major, but I'm planning on physics.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Fang. I'm a rising sophomore at Wellesley College, and I am looking at cinema media studies for a major.
Hi guys, my name is Alvini. I'm going to be a senior at UC Berkeley. I'm studying business and psychology, so I'm a double major. And yeah, if you guys have any questions afterwards, feel free to come up and ask me. I can give you my email address, or you guys can text me.
Okay, all right, thank you everyone. We're gonna get back to the stars in a second. We just want to introduce all the seniors here and let everyone know what college they're gonna be going to. Okay, so because making decisions is part of adulthood, so so let's see what decisions they make, right? Can Diamond Bar and Diamond Branch High School seniors come up, please? Let's give them a hand. Let's give them a come up, okay? Diamond Bar and Diamond Branch seniors, okay? Take that one. Okay, Diamond Branch come up, okay? Okay, just stand right in front of these college stars, okay? Okay, Whitney, tell them where to stand, okay? So you can, okay? So it'll be in the camera, okay? Yeah, it's okay to block off these college stars for a second. Okay, hey, let's start with, all right, Benson. Benson's not here today. Many of you know him. He's a very good artist. He's going to be going to Pasadena Art Center. Okay, that's a very prestigious art school. Okay, let's see, we have, well, he's not here, so next we have Christina. Yes, Christina,
look at here.
Raise your hand. Okay, now Christina got into all these great schools. Okay, Tim, ask him which school she chose.
It seems pretty obvious, but I lied. But it seems that you're going to be a Bulldog next year, so can you tell us why you chose Yale over all these great other colleges?
When I was deciding, I was initially...
Oh, 1 second. Hey, why don't you take this microphone and Tim and I use this?
I was originally thinking about going to Johns Hopkins, but then after thinking about it, I felt like Yale was a better fit for me because it provided not only a more well-rounded education, but it also has so many opportunities in terms of research and other things, being a big research institution and a university. So that is why I chose Yale.
Yay.
So Christina, what summer program did you go last year that got you in all these great schools?
Last year I had the opportunity to go to Stony Brook University, which is a a small university in Long Island in New York, and the program was called Garcia's Material Science Research Program, and I got to work with the professor for about 7 weeks on a program called to increase wound healing. Basically, that's the most generic, the most basic idea. And yeah, that's what I did over the summer.
Okay. And Christina, what advice do you have for the juniors in the audience on sophomore students?
I think my advice would just be to don't freak out too much about the years, or the year that is to come, or the years that are to come, because I think in the end everything will work out. So just do what you have passion for, and do what you love, and I think you'll get into a great school.
All right. Next we have Debbie. So Debbie is choosing between Pace Western and UC San Diego, Santa Barbara. So Debbie, tell us which school you're going to.
UCSD, San Diego.
Okay. And
Debbie, look at here.
It's really pretty. And a lot of my friends are going there to carpool.
You can come back. Yeah. Only an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what summer program did you do?
I interned at Taida Center of Weather and Disaster Research. And
Tell us what you did.
just learn about weather predicting and disaster preventing. It's really fun.
Okay. And
lastly, what do you have for the juniors?
Just try everything and find out what you like to do. Yeah, don't waste your time and look for stuff. Just try out everything.
okay. All right, let's give Debbie a big hand.
All right, next up we have Melinda on, choosing between Berkeley, UCSD, and Boston University. So which one?
I chose Berkeley.
That must be a hard decision.
And why Cal? Why did you choose? Why are you going to be alone there next year?
Well, I was talking to Albini, and she told me Berkeley has a lot of connections, and there's also the Haas program, which is it's kind of hard to get into, but I guess if you get into it, you can build a lot of connections and a foundation for a future job. So
That's a good choice. Yeah. Okay.
And what advice do you have for the underclassmen?
I guess for advice, I'd say get involved in your school clubs. Maybe stay committed to a few ones so you can become vice president or president for one of them, and that looks really good as a leadership position or commitment.
Okay. Great. Tiffany is choosing between Harvard, Cornell, Notre Dame, all these other schools. So Tiffany, tell us which one you finally chose.
Hi, I chose Harvard.
And tell us why.
Well, because it's Harvard. And I visited a few weeks back, and I really liked the campus and everyone there. It was a really great environment, and the whole college town was definitely something I look forward to.
All right, can you share with us what summer program you used?
My junior summer, I actually did research with a professor at Yale. It was in the molecular and cellular department of Yale, and I basically worked with the potassium protein, and I spent 6 weeks there, and my time was spent basically expressing the protein in different systems.
Okay, that's very impressive. What advice do you have for those?
Time management maybe for your essays. Definitely don't procrastinate. I submitted my essays the last few days. Don't do that. Definitely start earlier. And for the essays themselves, don't focus on what you think they're looking for. Make sure your voice shines through. Don't try to throw in like a bunch of SAT vocab words. I think they really want to try to get a feel of your character through your essays. So yeah.
Okay, let's give Tiffany and let's have Northwood High seniors. Tim, you go up. Northwood High, okay? Northwood High, okay?
These people are the most rowdy group, okay? Okay, we kind of alphabetize you guys by first name and name, okay? Alec is up, okay? He's choosing between USC, NYU, and Santa Clara. Can you tell us which grade school did you choose?
I chose USC.
Oh, hold on a second. Sorry.
I chose USC. I chose USC because the networking and the opportunities at USC, there's just so many they have to offer, and it's far away enough from home, but still close, so I can come home whenever. And it's just, I love the area, and yeah.
Okay. And Alec, oh, yeah, what summer program did you do last summer?
My junior year summer, I went to Cornell University for 3 weeks, and I did the Cornell University Summer College Program, where I was able to take business classes and really zone in on what aspect of business I wanted to pursue at USC.
Okay, and what advice do you have for underclassmen here?
I advise you just try to relax. The fact that you guys are already here at an event like this, you're already ahead of the competition in some way. So I advise you just take the advice from all these other superstar seniors, and make sure you guys all get into great schools.
All right, thank you. Okay, next we have, one more thing about Alec, okay, I forgot. You know, Alec, tell us everyone why you are being profiled by the World Journal. You're famous now.
My dad and I just finished the project. We restored a 1967 Mustang Fastback. Yeah. This woman wanted to feature me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, must be for your handsome looks, right?
No.
Okay. Well, that's a great accomplishment. He's in the newspaper. Let's give Alec a big hand again. All right, next we have Charlton. Okay, he's choosing between UC Santa Barbara, San Diego, and University of Illinois. Can you tell us which one did you choose?
I chose UC Santa Barbara.
Okay, tell us why.
Because I think it has the most beautiful campus.
Oh, yeah.
And their academics are great.
So it's a balance between like pretty campus and academics.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. You know, what advice do you have for juniors and underclassmen out there?
I would say that whatever you're doing, stay committed. Like, as we said earlier, like if you're in a club or whatever, you know, just stick in that club. See how well you can, you know, rank up throughout that club. If you have an extracurricular, stick with it, and don't just always keep trying around new things. If you want something and you want to like bad enough, then just stick with it and become like the president of it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Charlton. Let's give Charlton a big hand. Next we have Eric Tai. He's choosing between Occidental, Johns Hopkins, and UC San Diego. Tell us your decision.
Chose Johns Hopkins. And I chose it because it's all the way on the other side of the US. And I thought it'd give me like a new perspective and like new people to meet. Plus the school is known for a lot of its research, and I thought it'd be a great place to get started on my career and also make new connections.
Okay, you visited Johns Hopkins. Can you tell us about your visit?
The campus is really nice. I didn't get to go off into the city, but I hear it's really ghetto out there. But the students I don't know if you've heard about the cutthroat nature of the students, but that's actually not true at all. All of them are really friendly and willing to help.
Okay, that's good then. Yeah. And what's your advice for juniors and underclassmen out there?
my advice is a little opposite of what Charlton said. Mine is, the only things you'll ever regret are the things you don't do, so try everything.
All right, let's give Larry a big round of applause. Tim's next. So Tim is choosing between Yale and US, Johns Hopkins and UCLA. Can you tell us your fateful decision?
So after a lot of long nights of discussion and thought, I'm going to Johns Hopkins next year with Eric. And the reason why I chose Johns Hopkins, ultimately it became between Yale and US, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with. Yale and the National University of Singapore just created a new university. They flew me out to visit, and after going through all that, meeting all the great people, I ultimately chose Johns Hopkins just because it has its great foundation, its great legacy. Even though it's a new campus, it was ultimately too small. 150 people in my class versus 1,200, let's say, at Johns Hopkins. So that's why I ultimately chose Hopkins.
Well, Tim, quick question for you. For Yale and US, are you allowed to take classes at Yale campus?
Technically, you can study abroad at Yale at your time in Singapore, because I would go over to live in Singapore for all 4 years of my my college experience. I guess that's one of the big things you have to understand. And yeah, Yale and US is, for those applying to college, there's going to be a check mark on the Common App, and the joke amongst all of the people who got in was like, it was just a check mark. We were lucky that we got in. But yeah, just go ahead and check that check mark. They'll fly you out for free. It's a fun time.
Hey, you guys want a free trip to Singapore? Check the
It was awesome. It was awesome, by the way.
Did you fly first class?
I did not fly first class, but it was a good experience. First time to Singapore. First time to Southeast Asia.
Okay, and Tim, what summer programs did you participate last summer?
So last summer, I did a couple programs, but the ones that you guys are probably most accessible to is I was a boys state delegate up at NorCal in Sacramento. And then I went on this program called the Benjamin Franklin Transatlantic Fellows program, where basically it was a youth exchange with 45 different European students. So by the end of the program, they were craving alcohol, because they were here. But yeah, that basically made up the entirety of my summer. It was a great experience learning international relations, politics, economics, stuff that I'm actually just really interested in.
Okay, and what advice do you have for junior underclassmen out there?
So I think everybody's going to say really good advice. I think for those that are juniors, specifically juniors, IB Day may not be your happiest day. Like, just because it wasn't for me. For me, when IB Day came out...
Can you tell us, just so people don't know what IB Day means?
IB Day is basically when all the IBs come out. I think Stanford was the same day this year. Like, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be sad, a lot of people that are going to be happy. Don't be so bitter, or don't be so over flaunting in the sense that, so that like your friends get pissed off at you. Like, ultimately your friendships in high school are more important than where you get to school, and wherever you go, you'll be successful if you have the drive in you to succeed. So yeah, don't be caught up with that. Yeah.
Okay, let's give Tim a big round of applause. Okay, last we have Tiffany. She's choosing between Caltech, Washington U, St. Louis, and she also got this, what's called a California Triple Crown. She got Berkeley, UCLA, and USC. So Tiffany, which school you choose?
I chose Caltech next year. And I picked it because there's a lot of different opportunities that Caltech offers. Like, it's probably not the best bio program out there, and I'm majoring in bio, but they have a ton of different research opportunities. They give you a ton of research stipends if you apply for their programs, and so that's why I chose Caltech.
Okay, and wait a minute. And what advice do you have for juniors and underclassmen out there?
I guess it's about essays. It's like, if you're writing about something and it's not coming easily to you, you should probably write about something else. Because like the essays that I like the most that I wrote were the ones that like I sat down and wrote it in one sitting. And yeah, so if you're forcing it, it's probably not the right way to go.
So you see, the essays is the key there. Okay. Okay, let's give these Northwood High seniors a big round of applause.
Take a picture. Okay, I gotta come in and squeeze it. I feel I'm a Northwood High too.
1, 2, 3.
classic. Okay, next we have Walnut High, Alhambra, and Mark Capel. Seniors, come up, please. Come on, let's go. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you have a 5. Okay, we start with Austin. Okay, now Austin got into Rice as early decision. So he already, when did you find out, Austin? Was it early December?
Yeah, about second week.
Okay. Can you tell us why you applied to Rice early?
I was looking for a university that was strong in academics, but more importantly had a student body that was really tightly knit. And yeah, Rice, after I did all my research, it turned out that it was ranked one happiest students or best quality of life. And when I visited a couple weeks ago, it was a really friendly atmosphere. And yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, Austin, let me interrupt you for a second. Sue, come up here. Okay, we have our 6th superstar from college here. Sue, she's from Acadia High. She's first year at Harvard. So let's welcome her. Okay? Just in time, okay? We have to wait for you again. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
And a lot of the seniors have been on second semester having senioritis. How has senior year been for you after getting in early?
Honestly, not much has changed. I've been, for me actually, I was trying to keep up my grades still because I was in the running for valedictorian and I didn't want to drop out.
Did you get it?
Looks like it so far.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think we'll talk about the visit to Rice. Okay, what's your advice for the juniors and seniors out there?
Chances are you and your classmates probably have similar accomplishments, so I think you should take the essays as a good opportunity to set yourself apart from everyone else.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Austin.
Next up we have Amy, who's choosing between UCSD, CSB, and UCI and UC Davis. So which one did you choose?
I chose UC San Diego because I really like the six college systems there. So at the same time, you belong to the big UCSD, and also you feel another kind of belonging to this smaller school. So I get into John Muir at UCSD.
Okay.
And so what advice do you have for
I guess after you're done with college apps, you can just relax, but also stay on task. Try to get straight B's.
Save the A's enough for college, okay? Okay, let's give Amy a big hand. Next we have O'Meal.
All right, next we have O'Meal. Who's choosing between Boston University, Bucknell, George Washington, Berkeley, and UCLA.
I chose Berkeley.
And yeah, tell us why.
Okay. I really wanted to go out to the East Coast, but when you get accepted to Berkeley, they send you for an overnight host program where you get to visit it, and I fell in love with the people's passion at Berkeley. Like, everyone was telling me, come to Berkeley, where at other schools I didn't really experience it as much, and also I just love all the different opportunities that I'd be able to get there.
Okay, very good. And you visit other schools, let's say like, Bucknell, George Washington, Yale. So you feel that Berkeley is more welcoming, is that?
Right.
Okay. And what advice do you have for juniors out there, sophomore students?
For essays, really be able to pour out your emotions and don't sound so stoic. And also, I think for Berkeley, they gave me a supplement, which is a chance to be able to talk about yourself more and really take these opportunities. And if you get waitlisted to a school, don't be discouraged. You can always send in more essays, more accomplishments, and you'll probably get in.
Hey, that's kind of easy. Okay. Thank you.
Next we have Oscar, who is going to Stern Business School at NYU on the Early Decision 2 program. Who are you talking about?
why you chose for NYU? Or maybe ask you and tell us what's early decision 2 for people who don't understand.
Early decision 2 is when it's a second early decision opportunity where you can apply, I think, before December, in case you wanted to make a decision later, if you want to get into a school that you wanted to. And I chose NYU Stern because NYU is has one of the top business schools in the nation. And the fact that NYU is basically a short subway ride away from Wall Street was a big deal to me. And also, I chose NYU over like Berkeley because for Berkeley you have to. I may or may not get into Haas, but I would be a Sternie on the first day.
Okay, thank you, Oscar. Let's give Oscar a big hand. Simon, who also got in early on Northwestern. Okay. So Simon, since you got in early, is your senior year going very easy after you got in early?
Yeah, I stopped trying like after.
Oh, by the way, yeah, you know, second semester senior year is the best time to get B's, okay? Save the age for college, okay? Okay, so since you get in early, just smooth sailing, okay? And so Simon, what advice you want to give to the juniors, sophomores out there?
You always have to try really hard in school and have a positive attitude. And yeah, just relax after you got into college.
Okay, let's give them all a big. Okay. Last group, Beckman High, Whitney, Steinsmith, also. Let's see what decisions they made.
Only one of me.
All right, come on. Line up anywhere, we'll just do the alphabetical. Okay, first we have Alfred. Okay, he got into all these great schools. We don't need to name them, right? Yale, Cornell, MIT, Berkeley. Which school did you ultimately choose?
I ultimately chose Yale.
Why?
Because since I want to study engineering, Yale's engineering department is fairly small, and they have a lot of resources for its students. So compared to all the other schools, I think I'd stand out more at Yale.
Okay, and what advice do you have for sophomores, juniors out there?
Okay, so if you don't already have the idea, try to choose at least 2 teachers who are willing to write your recommendation letters. Don't wait for other students to start asking before you do. Be the first one to do it, and I'm sure they'll write you a great one if you're the first one to ask.
Okay. And yeah, one more thing is you visited Yale and MIT. How do you compare both schools on your visit?
They're both really friendly and they're all really good schools, but I think Yale just had more resources for me in terms of what I want to study.
Okay, let's give Alba a big hand. Okay, next we have Alice Lee from Beckman. She's chosen in Santa Clara, Purdue, Santa Barbara, UC Davis. Which school did you choose?
I chose Purdue University. I'm planning to major in chemistry, and they have a pretty strong chemistry program there and research opportunities. And I really liked the campus vibe when I visited a month ago. So, yeah.
Okay, and then what advice would you have for the class?
I would say to explore all your interests and also visit the schools you're planning to apply to or the schools that you have in mind. And that was a really important factor for me when I was choosing which schools I wanted to apply to.
And Alice, you were also in the Cosmos program last summer. Can you tell us, the audience, what that's about?
I participated in Cosmos at UCI. It's also at other UC campuses such as UC Davis and UC Santa Cruz. And I got to live in UCI, like in the dorms for a month. And I got to take chemistry classes there, like sit in lectures, and then I also had labs twice every week.
Okay, thank you, Alice. We have Eric. Eric Huang from Beckman High. Eric, you got in Stanford early action. So since you got in Stanford early, did senioritis immediately took over?
Yeah.
Did you still went to class, right?
Yeah, most of the time.
And Eric, you were also in the CISA summer program last year. Can you explain to us what's that program about?
CISA is the California State Summer School of the Arts. It's at Cal Arts. It's an art school in Valencia, and so I stayed there for 4 weeks and took classes like painting and design. And I met a lot of different people there, and it was a good experience.
Okay. And do you think that experience helped you get into Stanford?
Yeah, it gave me something to write about in my essay, and it also helped me with my artwork.
All right. And Eric, what advice do you have for the sophomores and juniors out there?
You should just relax and be yourself. Write about what really interests you.
All right, let's give Eric a hand.
We have Isaac, who got into Harvard early. So I guess since you got into Harvard, I'm guessing again your senior year has been smooth sailing. Yeah.
Sure.
You go to class?
Yes, I do. I don't necessarily participate in class, but I'm there.
Oh, you could snooze off, okay? Okay.
And so what advice do you have for the underclassmen?
A big part of my application was the emphasis on a student with a global perspective. So I would say that as high school students, you guys are still relatively young compared to all the senior old people we have in the room. So there's still a lot of time for you to get out and explore the world. And last summer I was in Taiwan teaching English and helping out in like rural areas.
How long did you teach?
Around 5 weeks, I believe it was.
Okay.
Something like that. It's been so long, it's like, yeah. So I was overseas for the whole summer. So I would recommend, if you have an opportunity, definitely get out and explore the world. It definitely broadens your perspective, and it makes you more attractive to colleges as well.
Okay. Okay, let's give Isaac a big hand.
Hi guys.
You're choosing between Santa Clara and Georgia Tech. Tell us which schools you chose.
I chose Santa Clara University. Yay. Oh, female engineer. Tough choice. Good question. I get this all the time. I chose Santa Clara University mainly because the overall package. I like Georgia Tech because of the prestige, and everybody knows what Georgia Tech is. I'm going to be an engineer, so obviously Georgia Tech would be the more viable option. But I chose Santa Clara because of, like I said, the overall package. It's in Silicon Valley, so all the companies there, they give priority to Santa Clara students. So I think that's great. Some of their top employers are Intel, HP, and Apple. So I think it'd be really cool to get an internship in Silicon Valley because not many people can really say that they got an internship in Silicon Valley. I really like the academic structure and how they taught in Santa Clara because they teach it in the T. So that means that you have to have background in a lot of different things like public speaking and be able to interact with people. Because in the engineering field, a lot of people aren't really that talkative and easy to be in crowds and stuff. But you also have to have the technical aspect, which is the engineering aspect, and I'm going to Santa Clara for the engineering aspect, to have that really good background to get my future job. And yeah, that's why I chose Santa Clara.
Okay, good. Tell us your summer program last summer.
Oh, last summer I spent 8 weeks at UCLA for their high school summer research program. Basically, it's a really prestigious 8-week program. You get to study under a professor in an engineering department that you chose, and you help the graduate students with their research, and you get to make your own project on your own with a really huge poster symposium at the end. So it was pretty hard. Oh, the advice question. For me, I had a lot of obstacles in my way during the entire college application process. Like it was long nights and really a lot of frustration. So I say really push through all the college applications, and even in high school, you're gonna get into a lot of obstacles. So you really have to push through and believe in yourself that you can really do it. Because in the end, things really do work out. And something I want to say for the juniors out there who don't know what they want to do, I really did not know what I wanted to do until junior year, actually. And it was in my physics class. I decided to take an honors course because I wanted to challenge myself. So that was probably one of the most life-changing decisions I've ever made, ever. And because the teacher, Mr. Z, he's amazing. He taught me a completely new world of physics, and that's what really made me decide to go into engineering. So what I really want to say is that for those of you who don't know what you want to do, there will be that one day and that one class, that one professor that shows you a completely new realm of either engineering or biology, science, math, English, literature. It could be anything. It will be completely life-changing, and you know that's the way you want to go. So don't worry.
Okay.
Come close.
Squeeze together and take a.
Eric.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Thank you. All right. So they made a great decision. Okay. Now they need to look forward to college.
Okay. So let's hear from the college stars. Okay. Sue, just introduce yourself to everyone again.
Hi everyone, I'm Sue, and I'm currently a freshman at Harvard College.
And what high school did you go to?
I went to Arcadia High School.
Okay. Okay, good. Before we ask them, I'm going to show the class selection of other seniors who can't be here today. Okay, we have Andrew from Esperanza. He chose Berkeley over Cornell. Yeah. We have Angel Yang, who got in Columbia early. Many know her. We have Alex Lee from Whitney High, who's actually got California Triple Crown, Berkeley, UCLA, USC, also Williams, but he chose Berkeley. We have Claudia from Northwood. She got into a guaranteed transfer at USC. She's going to UCSD for the first year. We have Caroline Schoen from Beckman High. She's going to Cornell. She's also one of 2 female students in Orange County who got into the hotel management Cornell. So that's a, yeah, hotel management is really hard to get into. We have Carrie, okay, from Arcadia High. She's the ASB president. She's going to USC. We have Derek Cow from Warren High, many you know her. He got a Yale and Harvard, but he switched his shirts. He's now at Yale. He's going to Yale. He's swimming at a national level swimming meet right now, so that's why he can't be here. Yale, Harvard. Derek Lin from Whitney High. He's going to Berkeley. Ivana, actually, she already graduated. She's going to Dartmouth early. Yeah, she's also in the CSA summer program. Jasmine Zhao from Whitney, she also got in Berkeley, UCLA, and USC, and she chose UCLA. Josh, he's the famous beef noodle soup author. He's actually going to be here a little later. Okay? He's going to Berkeley. Let's see, Kevin Herb, many of you may not know him. He's a transfer student. He graduated South Pasadena a couple years ago. He got into Columbia and Brown as a transfer, and he chose Columbia. He's visiting Columbia right now. But he spent first 2 years at University of Illinois, so it is possible to transfer into the Ivy Leagues. Okay. We have Michelle Gong from San Diego. She's going to Berkeley as well. Sabrina from Northwood. She's going to UCLA. Okay, Olivia is going to Northeastern from Whitney High. Sophia Han from Troy is going to Pomona. Shannon is going to UPenn. Shannon too. She's also in the CSA summer program. Do you guys see a trend? You go to CSA program, you get into good schools, okay? Lydia also went to CSA too, by the way, okay? Stephanie from Walnut, she's going to Berkeley or other schools. Tiffany Chow is also guaranteed transfer program. We're attending Northeastern first year. Tiffany Liu, she got into the Beckman High, she got into a USC WBB program. For those of you who don't know, they only accept about 50 students around the world. That's a big accomplishment for her. Okay, let's all give all these seniors a big hand. Okay, so the college staff actually they already have introduced themselves already. So let's go around. Okay, okay, we have everyone. So we have questions on the. Well, let's go around. Let's start with Sue. So describe the culture of Harvard, just for people who don't know.
Well, I guess for me, what I think Harvard is a very big like study hard, play hard culture. Everyone's very intense when it comes to academics, I would say, but we also know how to really have fun. And I think what really distinguishes Harvard from a lot of the other schools is that we have a lot of great opportunities for speakers around the world. For example, like every week at this place called the IOP, we have speakers such as like the Prime Minister of Australia, Eric Schmidt from Google, like a lot of famous people, and I feel like a lot of these events would not be available to you if you went to some other school, and I really value Harvard for these opportunities.
Okay, let's pass it to Tina. Tell us about Columbia.
It's also very academic driven, but also we love to have fun. There's New York City, so you get to go to all the museums. There's like 30 museums you can go for free as a Columbia student, and you can go to movies and like a lot of different events. People go to concerts, and yeah, so very academic driven, but we also like to have fun.
So yeah, like Columbia, so since Boston, it's like near Boston, near the city, so there's always events going on. There's never a weekend where you'll be bored. There's always like a lot of concerts for people who like music. There's a lot of like art museums too. And also in terms of like the students, I don't know, maybe people think Harvard students are very like cutthroat and stuff, but I found a lot of good friends, very willing to help each other out, like even the extracurriculars, like sometimes it can get really stressful, but like people are there for each other since you're basically going through the same thing, so people can talk about their feelings. Like there's a lot of like 4 a.m. talks, we're just like, oh, I hate life right now, but if you're together, like it really makes things a lot better.
Alright, so Harvey Mudd is a very science and technology engineering school. We like that kind of stuff a lot, but well, it's true. But I'd say the one part I like most about the Harvard culture is the collaboration. We don't mind helping each other learn. We help each other with homework, and also the 3 or 4 a.m. talks. Just last night, I was up to like 3:30 talking to 2 or 3 other friends from my dorm, and we were just talking about stuff, about life, what we wanted to do, and math. Some of my other friends don't like physics as much as I do, so I respect that. But we all like math.
So, Wellesley is. Do you guys know the social media site Tumblr?
Yes.
Wellesley is Tumblr in real life. It's it's a very eclectic collection of very academically driven girls who like nerdy things and social justice, and it's not all girls. We have male students who come over from other campuses, and we also have transgender male students, and it's a very open campus. Lots of people come on. It's very beautiful. We're very accepting of people. We try to keep it as safe a space as we can. And Wellesley is very socially aware, very academic, and yet we also have a lot of fun because we are kind of in a bubble because we're in suburban Boston area, but we do run buses into Boston a lot, so people are connected.
Alright, so Berkeley, I'm sure you guys all hear about our liberal culture. We have a lot of hobos around. So, besides the hobos, like they won't harm you. But, I think with Berkeley, you have a very diverse group of people. You meet a lot of different people no matter what major you are. And you know that Berkeley is also near the SF area, San Jose area, where all the tech startups are. A lot of startups actually occur in Berkeley, especially if you're an engineering major or a computer science major. And if you're a business major, you know that we have a really prestigious business school. So I would say that, no matter what college you go to, I think that with Berkeley I found a very open community there. And so that's why I ended up choosing Berkeley.
Okay, so next talking point we have is like, use of AP credits, AP classes. Obviously Berkeley's public school, we have a lot of private schools here. So I'm just gonna say, okay, let's say Harvard. Sue, do you use your AP credits from high school?
No.
Tell us why not.
Okay, so at Harvard, there's something called advanced standing, and that's a program. If you do take that route, you can use your AP credits. But I've talked to some of my friends there, and the program is very intense because you graduate in 3 years, and then you take the last year and you use it toward a master's in like mathematics, statistics, physics, chemistry. So very like sciencey, mathy things. And the guy I talked to, he took Math 55, which is the hardest freshman undergraduate math class I think in the world, and he was against me taking route because he's not even doing it. So I took his advice, so I didn't use any of my AP credits.
So any of you students besides Alvini who goes to private school use your AP credits?
I'm going to use my AP credit. I got into the intense organic chemistry class, so with that class I can use 6 credits for AP chemistry. And also for calculus, I can use 6 credits.
Okay, so Columbia has an option then?
Yeah.
Okay. So we heard from Harvard, Columbia. Lydia, do you use any of your AP credits?
No.
Okay, Jeremy, did you use any of yours?
Harvey Mudd is not allowed to use AP credits class out of classes. So if you want to do that, you actually need to take a test, like their own test, to see if you really know what you're doing. And most people don't.
At Wellesley, they do allow AP credit for some things, like if you wanted to get into the harder bio class, you can use your AP credit for that. I decided not to because I value my sleep. And they also allow you to use your AP language credit if you have it to pass the language requirement. I unfortunately did not take AP French, so I couldn't do that, but I did manage to skip to 202 level to fulfill my language requirement anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It worked out.
Okay, and Alvini, tell us whether you use your AP.
So with the AP credits, I know for, I think all of the UC's AP literature, if you guys took that and you got a 4, you get to pass out of, I believe, 1 semester of language that you have to take at the UC. Otherwise, if you got a 5, you got to pass out 2 semesters, which I was lucky enough to pass out of. And so, what that means is that you get to take other classes that you're potentially interested in. And I believe I also had a calculus course. It was Cal State Fullerton. So I didn't take the AP Calc test, but that's because with AP Calc I wasn't able to pass out of my calculus credits at Berkeley. But with the calculus course that I took from Cal State Fullerton, I was able to pass out, again, 2 semesters worth of math. And if you guys are aware, the math GPA at Berkeley is a 2.7 on average. So I was very lucky to pass out of these math courses. And as for the other AP credits, even though I didn't use them to pass out of classes, they still counted towards my college credits. And so for Berkeley, since it's on a semester system, we have a total of 120 units needed to graduate. And so with my AP credits, I was able to go into college with already 30 units under my belt. So that's an advantage of going to a public school.
Okay, I see.
And so a big part of being in college and in life is stuff outside of school. So can you guys talk a little bit
more about your experiences with internships, if you've gotten into internships, how your school has helped you get internships, things like that?
Okay, we'll start Alvini first. She's the most senior of this group. How's that?
So in terms of internships, when you're in your freshman year and your sophomore year, I would say that people will tell you it's really difficult to land an internship because most companies will think that you guys like don't know anything, right? But that doesn't mean you can't start early. So whenever there are career fairs, go out, look at those companies, talk to those people, and get your face and your name out there. Because the next year that you go into that career fair, at least by then they'll know you, and then you'll have an advantage over the other people who are applying for the same internship. As for me, I actually worked at Winnie and Allen's office when I was in my freshman year and sophomore year. But like I said, any sort of professional experience is worth it because you don't have to land like an internship at Facebook or Google in your freshman year or your sophomore year. I ended up actually acquiring an internship at Ernst & Young. If you guys have heard of the Big Four firms, there's Deloitte, PwC, Ernst & Young, and KPMG. So I'll be working in Ernst & Young this summer as a fraud investigation and disputes intern. I'll be there for 10 weeks, so I'm really excited to see what's in store.
Next up, let's have Lydia talk about her internship experience.
So like for Harvard, there's like an career office, OCS portal, where they have like a lot of recruiters who come onto campus. So there's a lot of on-campus events every week where they have employers come in and you I don't know, I guess you can give them your resume and then you like networking sessions too. So personally for me, like this summer, I'm going to be interning for like consulting, which I applied online and they like go through interviews, like 2 rounds of interviews.
Oh, okay. And Tina, I think you also have an internship too, right?
Yeah. So I got into this internship, which is funded by the National Science Foundation.
That's a big deal.
I get to work at Lamont Doherty, which is a really famous Earth observatory in Palisades, New York. But I still get to live at Columbia, and also it's free housing, and I get a stipend, and I get to work with a professor.
Wow, that's great.
Usually, first years don't get to apply to this internship, but I spoke with several professors and they said I can apply. So.
Okay. Anybody else also have internship experience they want to share? Okay. Yeah. So it looks like it's like kind of networking the professors and show up the career placement office. That's the lesson. So not just college stars, it's everyone of the seniors. That's what you have to do. Okay. All right. Next we have advising. Okay. Do you guys have faculty advisors?
Yeah.
How does it work? Sue, just go down every one of you tell about your experience.
Okay, so for Harvard, for first-year students, you get you have one academic advisor and one peer advisor called a PAF. And they try to match your career interests and your academic interests with your academic advisor. But this year, I was more interested in like applied math, economics. But my advisor, he was like a PhD in biology. So even though that didn't really matched really well, he still gave me really good tips about how to adjust to life at Harvard. And I think next year, once we declare our concentration, we also have a concentration advisor. And by the way, concentration is just a major, but it's just like a fancy like Harvard term for it. So in that case, you'll have 2 advisors. So one, well actually I'm not sure.
There's like house tutors.
Yeah, there's a house tutor. So there's another set of advisors once you become a sophomore. But I'm sure Lydia can elaborate more on that.
Okay, maybe Tina can talk about more than Columbia first.
Well, the advisors don't really help that much. It's mostly through talking with friends, talking to professors. They give you advice on what to do, like what kind of clubs to join, or like what kind of classes to take and what kind of things to apply for. But we have one advisor for 4 years, and then we have a major advisor, but I haven't declared my major yet, so.
All right, so at Harvey Mudd, we have a couple of advisors. It's a small school, so they have a lot of things for us. So we have a first year advisor. He or she just helps us get around first year app. We can ask them questions about what we want to do. We have like an HSA advisor. You guys might not know this, but at Harvey Mudd, we have a lot of required humanities courses that we have to take, and they have to be like a specific kind. So it's kind of complicated, and that's why we have an HSA advisor to tell us if we're taking all the right classes that we need to graduate in 4 years, which is pretty fun. Personally, my first year advisor hasn't really done much except like sign off some cards to register for courses, but I feel like at Harvey Mudd, all the professors are pretty open, so all you really do is find a professor that you really like and just go talk to them. I know I did that, and I learned a lot from them by doing that.
At Wellesley, you have a lot of peer advising and a lot of faculty advising because we're a very small school, so everybody forms very close connections with professors. My faculty advisor was lucky enough to be my intro to camps cinema media studies professor, and since I seem to be considering a cinema media studies major, I guess it worked out. And what they do is they just kind of advise you on the classes you might want to register for the next semesters, and they give you advice about stuff. And my faculty advisor has been, and I have been very close, and he's like suggested stuff like internships and study abroad and summer programs, so they are capable of that. We also have deans of classes. The first years have a specific first year dean, but other classes have their own class deans as well. And then we also have what we call APTs, or academic peer tutors or something like that. And then we have the PLTC, which is another series of tutors and advisors. So we have a lot of support at Wellesley, which is probably one of the greatest things about it.
So at Berkeley, given that there's around 10,000 students, to be absolutely honest, you don't have very personalized advising. So what this means is that you really have to go out there and figure out, like, what do you have to know, look up information yourself, because I learned more from researching than I did from going in to ask the peer advisor questions. Okay, and how I usually got most of my advice was from older upperclassmen. So if you join a club, make sure you establish these connections with either people who already graduated from Berkeley and can give you some advice that way, or also make connections with upperclassmen who are still there at the school.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. For a lot of the seniors that are going to college, some of the concerns with specific schools are that there's grade deflation. And at some schools, at least from rumors in College Confidential, there's grade inflation. So if you guys could talk a little bit about that. I know at Hopkins, we're scared. We're scared that our GPA is going to be really bad. So can you talk a little bit about that?
What do you hear from your school?
Yeah.
Well, Harvard's notorious for grade inflation. However, I don't know if Lydia agrees with me, but I don't think it's entirely easy to get a 4.0 GPA, because in college you have to keep in mind that depending on the school, like at Harvard, an A- is a 3.66, and usually, like, if I get an A- in high school, it's still an A. But then you have to keep in mind in college, if you get an A-, that would definitely lower your GPA a lot. And although I find it very hard to get like anything below a B at Harvard, it's like really impossible. It is hard in some classes at least to get like an A, because you're never sure if you're getting an A or an A-. And I have friends who have done like well in classes and I've gotten B+. So I mean, I don't know. I think you just take everything you read with a grain of salt, and it's different for every single person.
Okay, let's hear from Columbia.
So we also have grade inflation, but not to the extent at Harvard. So with our core classes, like for literature humanities, art humanities, music humanities, there's at least 50% of the class who get in the A range. So that's A-, A, or A+. But usually not A+. But for science courses, there's usually about 30% of the people who can get an A- or above. But if you can place into harder classes, there's usually grade inflation. So I was in the intensive organic chemistry class, and about half the class got in the A range. Whereas if you were in the regular chemistry class, only about 30% would get in the A range.
So, Harvey Mudd has super great deflation. And I'll just say, I think the last time I heard the average GPA is about like a 2.7 to a 3.1-ish. And I think that they kind of do it on purpose, because I'll just say in the past 50 years, I think we've had 7 valedictorians. So they basically make it impossible to get really good grades in all your classes. And that just makes us not care so much about like being so cutthroat and being competitive about getting grades, because we're all failing together. And I think it's not bad because after a year of Harvey Mudd, I think we pretty much got used to it. We're just like, we're getting first classes, we're passing, and we're happy. Like that. Just give respect.
So at Wellesley, we have grade deflation, and we always have the saying that Wellesley people would probably get A's if we got to Harvard. It's true.
Take a class in opposite, it's true.
Now, we have cross-registration with MIT. We actually prefer MIT people to Harvard people. I'm very sorry about this. Very sorry. It's usually your guys. It's your guys' fault. Anyway, have you seen Harvard? Have you seen the Harvard fraternity boys? They're awful. Anyway, so Wellesley has grade deflation. They have a policy that says about no more than 50% of the. It's something about. I think it was something about like a certain degree, a certain number of people in the class must have a B or something like that. It's like the average has to be a B+. It can be no higher than that. So A's are usually reserved for the people who work their butts off, I guess. But everybody works their butts off, so it's really hard to say who gets an A at Wellesley because I guess it just comes down to maybe how well you do on your finals or how lucky you are. It's not entirely sure, but everybody works really hard at Wellesley. And I feel like this grade deflation sort of thing, it actually has led to more cooperation between the students because we all know it's kind of down to luck about whether or not you get an A, so you might as well help everybody, and everybody's just kind of whatever about it in the end, because they apparently sometimes when they send in your transcripts to companies, it comes with a letter that says, by the way, we have grade deflation, so just imagine all those B's are actually A's.
Let's hear from Berkeley.
So at Berkeley, I think it really depends on your major. I would say overall there's probably grade deflation. As I told you guys before, average math GPA is a 2.7. But for Haas and our business school, they increased the average GPA from a 3.2 to a 3.4. So what that means is that on average, our grade has been, on average each class, the grade is centered around B+. But at the same time, like, you never really know what your grade is until after your final. So, you just gotta do the best you can do.
And so,
I just like to make a small comment. Just like Wellesley, usually in schools with like really bad grade deflation, they will send a note to colleges, to other places where you need a transcript to say that this place is grade deflation. So it's not something you have to really worry about. It's just part of the school culture, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So for those of you in college, is learning limited to the college experience? Is it limited to the classroom, or are there other avenues for you to learn?
Yeah, that's how about Lydia? What do you think?
So I personally think most of the learning takes place outside the classroom. In lectures, it can sometimes be kind of impersonal because you just have a professor standing up there talking at you, and people are like on their computers on Facebook, email.
People at Harvard? I'm shocked.
Yeah, like if you stand in the back of the classroom and look at everyone's computer screens, it's like blue and like it's Facebook. Yeah.
It's okay. Harvard invented Facebook.
But there's also like things that we have like discussions, which are they split like all the lectures into smaller classroom settings, and you learn most of your material from like teaching assistants or teaching fellows. And so those are generally like grad students who maybe are in a specific major, they're studying at a graduate school, and they teach you. So you do most of your learning probably there, and outside just through like homework with each other. Not really in the classroom so much.
Okay, and Jeremy, do you have anything to add?
Well, you certainly do learn a lot in the classroom, especially like technical stuff or like information, but I guess after going to college for a year, you can learn anywhere. It's not like, it's more like a process and a way of applying.
Sorry, that's what Wellesley snaps.
Oh, yeah.
It's our way to applaud things without like actually making noise.
Okay, well, but yeah, it's something that you learn. It's very hard to put this. It's like, it's just a part of you because it's more, you want to make the most of your life and you just take every opportunity to try to improve it. You learn new things, you learn how to do new things. I guess for a personal example, I joined the poker club this semester at Harvey Mudd, and I have gotten quite good at it, but it's, I won more money than I lost, but you take the lessons that you learn from the little things in life and you just apply it elsewhere. At least for poker, I've learned that there might be a lot of things that are up to luck. You know, maybe some, like a college application process, getting to where, but it really depends on how you make do with what you have, what your luck gives you. And if you do, you will be able to get results. And that's a lesson that you can learn from a lot of different things, I think. It's an important lesson too.
Wellesley has a very collaborative nature, so a lot of people form study groups and commiserate with each other while they do their homework. We have a lot of extracurriculars. Everybody's involved in extracurriculars at Wellesley, and that is also another really important learning space because you get to there's lots of cultural things and speakers. They invite people over. There's the Shakespeare Society and all these other really fun places where you learn all these new things that sometimes might not be covered in your classes, but might become applicable to your classes. And what's really interesting is how, like, as you go through your college courses, you might realize that a lot of things that you learn in one class may be applicable to another. Like, for example, my final paper for one of my poli-sci classes had a lot to do with the media analysis that I did from my intro to cinema media studies class. So everything is very interconnected, and you learn a lot when you apply things that you learn in one class to another.
So really quickly to wrap up, I know all of our seniors gave their advice. Can you guys give your advice to underclassmen as well as us for the college experience after going through college for the year?
I think the most important lesson, I remember when you guys were all up here, you all said like pretty similar things, but that's true. So for the 3 years of college, I think the biggest thing I learned was that you guys have to accept that failure is inevitable. So you might be all getting straight A's right now, but that doesn't mean you're going to be getting straight A's in college. But don't take that as a sign that you're not going to be successful for the rest of your life, right? Because you guys have to remember that in order to be successful, you have to take those failures and learn from them. And so don't be afraid to challenge yourself, put yourself out there. College is going to be a very different experience. You're not going to have any hand-holding. Your parents aren't going to be there to watch you. So, find your own balance of work and play, and keep your head on straight, and don't give in to peer pressure and do bad things.
One of the things about college is that you are in control of your own academic destiny, so to say. Like when you're in high school, there's often like specific set tracks of classes that you have to take, and sometimes there are prerequisites, but most of the time you choose what class to take, when to take it, and if you go to schools like Wellesley with self-scheduled finals, when to take your finals. And so what really happens is the people in college will try their best, will generally treat you like an adult, so the best thing that you can do is act like an adult and give them reasons to trust you with adult things. So what's probably my best advice is, one, to take care of yourself and to just be as responsible as you can for your own education, because your parents are probably shelling out a lot of money.
I guess after a year of college, if you're worried about getting into college, it's not really about what you can do, or specifically your accomplishments, but I think I've said to some of you out there before, but what you want to do. I think a lot of people, at least at Harvey Mudd, know that we all have potential, we all can do things, but it's a really different thing if we want to put in the effort to go there and realize our potential. And I think that's something that the college admissions officers look out for, how much effort you need, what kind of person you are. I mean, one of the things that I really enjoy about Harvey Mudd is the people here. And the admissions officer will try to pick people who can make their campus a place that people want to be at, make it a fun place, make it a place where people can learn and accomplish what they want to. So they really want to try to choose people who would do that, I guess. I will probably think of a better way to say that afterwards if you want to ask.
So I guess like in college, it's really like the one time that you really are living with like all these like all your peers and you're studying at the same time. So you're like it's your home, right? So I mean you really should take advantage of like having the opportunities to like get to know these people around you. You'll probably never be in an environment with so many people your age and like sharing the same passions as you again. Like college is really different. Like I don't know, in high school like you might have something in common, but you don't get to see them around that much. Like you go to class, go to clubs, and then you go home. But like in college, like there's so many opportunities to like get together. There's so many things always happening like there. Just like go to something together, get to know each other, and just like really I don't know like take advantage of all the opportunities there. Like, it sounds really cliche, like everyone tells you to do it. And you're like yeah I know. But like once you're actually there, like it takes effort to like make the effort and like go to someone's dorm and like or text that person. Like most people are really lazy and don't want to do it. But like you should really just like try. I don't know, like maybe like oh once a week like get together with someone, grab a meal.
Also, don't try too many things at once. Especially for first semester, you're adjusting to the college life. You're away from home, and you're adjusting to an entirely different atmosphere. So maybe at first try to focus on your classes more instead of like going to club meetings or applying for stuff. And then once you get that footing, the academic ground, for the spring semester you can apply to internships. You can try out for clubs like dance groups or anything that you want to do. And also for any college that you got accepted to or for any college that you're going to, you deserve to be there. So, so if you believe that, you'll be more optimistic and you will do well in that school.
So for me, I think a very important thing to remember is never compare yourself to others. It's such a self-destructive way to like have that kind of attitude. And when we compare ourselves to others, we're always comparing our weaknesses to their strengths. And I find at a place like Harvard, it's really easy to get lost in like comparing your like your grades or your extracurriculars with those around you, and it's not a fair way to like treat yourself. And Another thing I want to add is that it's good to be career-minded and to be very ambitious about what you want to do, and only take classes that help with your major or take internships that help with your future career. But just remember, like college is this one opportunity where you don't have that much responsibility to learn whatever you like. So if you like Russian literature or architecture, like go ahead and take them. Like this is what I did. Like I take like 2 or 3 very practical classes, like linear algebra or like economics. But then I'll always be sure to take a class that I'm very like interested in, even though I won't like major in that like class, like architecture, which I took this year, and I enjoyed it so much.
Okay, yeah.
I would just like to say, I think you guys should try to make the most of your lives and take advantage of the opportunities that come to you. I'll just say that people, and that includes admission officers, kind of like being around them. Just, yeah.
Okay, let's give these top dogs a big hand. Okay, we're gonna have a chance. You guys have a chance to interact with them. But 1 second, okay? Yeah, let's Tim and I stand right here. We're gonna take a group picture. Let's get closer. Come on, Lydia, move over a little bit. So Tina, yeah. I'm getting into a group of superstars, right in their coattails. Okay. Okay. Okay, so what's next on the program is a chance for you guys to kind of interact with each other since they already gave you all this advice. So this is what I want you guys to do, okay? All the seniors on the first row, third row, I mean turn your seat around, okay? Facing the juniors, okay? Everyone on the first row, and the third row, turn around facing in your group, okay? Turn around the seats. Okay?